Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to today's Combined Authority on a miserable July day. I can't do not about the weather. Please blame me for it. It gives you some comfort. But I don't know about you, but I'm getting pretty sort of annoyed or distraught about the start and even with our periods of reflection. But I don't like me. You're all shocked about what we did overnight. So 84 people, many of them children, absolutely appalling attack. And I think it's right that we show our respect by just remembering what needs and the authorities and the families and the people are all going through. So we just have a minute silence. Okay, thank you. And obviously we'll get David, maybe somebody could write to these authorities and express our condolences. I think that would be good to do. Okay, we've got Councillor Mike Murphy from Knowsley here, and he's not available, and also Councillor Grunwald is not here, and Councillor Andy Bowden is not here either, but he's replacing Councillor Grunwald, but he's running slightly late, so we will continue with the meeting, however. Okay, any other apologies for absence?
I've received apologies from Steve Hammond and Councillor O'Neill.
Okay, declaration of interest, any to declare on any of the items? No? Okay, minutes of the last meeting on the 17th of June are on pages 1 to 12. There are some items related to that that I would like to discuss in regard to capacity a little bit later on. Are there any other issues that anybody wishes to raise? Okay, so can we agree those minutes, please? Agreed. Okay, thank you. If we then move on to item 4, which is the single investment fund assessment framework, and it's the assurance framework for the single investment fund, basically, and it will help us inform and make decisions around the use of £500 million from the single investment fund. Catherine's here. Catherine, do you want to make any comments on this or take us through this?
Just a couple of quick comments. Basically, we've had a confirmation of our first 5-year allocation, which is just over 458 million, which will include any further funding we get from LGF3. And funding is based on a programme approach, which will provide maximum flexibility in terms of how we spend. But it is subject to the development of the assurance framework, which is set out in Appendix 1. So basically, we're recommending that we agree the assurance framework as it's set out. And as the draft assurance framework then has to go off to the Department of Local Government, Communities and Local Government for sign-off, we would wish that to delegate any final amendments that might come back from DCLG to the Treasurer following their feedback.
Okay, I think we're happy with that, aren't we, in terms of, because if they raise anything that might have to be tinkered with or changed, I think we're happy to extend that delegation responsibility to make sure that we listen to them and change code here. So that's fine. With that, just sort of that caveat then on the report, can we agree that recommendation then as set out in the report?
Agreed.
Okay, thank you. If we then move on to item 5, which is the growth deal submission, growth deal 3 submission, and it's we've been invited to submit proposals to the local growth fund to support further growth in the city region. So develop a submission for investment to support business innovation and skills, transport and housing, and it's due to be submitted by the 28th of July. So again, it's pretty clear and set out in the report. Anything that we've got to say, we can look at the report. Wesley's going to do a presentation on the report, and then we can, if we want, ask any questions or submit any comments further. So Wesley, want to take us through the report, please?
Thank you very much, Chair. So really what I wanted to do is just spend 10 minutes to give you a whistle-stop tour of our proposed local growth fund submission, local growth fund 3 submission. I just want to give you a little bit of background, what the format is and what the key ingredients of the proposal to government will be. The Chair's just referred to the fact that there's a deadline for submission of the 28th of July, and just as a reminder that this is a competitive process, and as part of that process we've already had a challenge session with the Minister, and I think our interim submission was very favourably received, and I'll outline why that is the case through this presentation. So what the content or the proposed format of the bid is going to focus on is some of the real strengths that we have within the Liverpool City region. And what we wanted to reaffirm is that context of strong collaboration. But within that, what we wanted to identify is the ambition that we have alongside the assets that we have, and how they balance some of the challenges that we have and how we address them. What we really need to focus on, which is our USP in terms of the submission of an LGF3 bid, is our track record of delivery. And even more important now, the strong leadership and governance and assurance arrangements that we have, not least through the Evolution deal. And there are other principles as well in terms of the advice that we're being given from the civil servants, not least in terms of how it relates to government policy and the Northern Powerhouse. So in the main, they're the key ingredients. As I said in my introductory remarks, really what this is about is saying that we are a massive, significant economy in the Northwest and indeed nationally. But we have some issues to address, and really local growth really is around the added value, how that complements some of the existing funding that we already have in the city region, and whether that's about improving the quality of what we do, bringing forward and accelerating some of the things we do more quickly, or indeed actually doing more of some of the effective work that we've already undertaken that are probably elsewhere on this agenda. And in terms of realising our potential, really our bid is founded on some of the significant strengths that we do have. We haven't rested on our laurels, and as I said earlier, we've got that real sense of purpose. The track record really is around demonstrating what we've done with existing resources, so really this is in the context of the submission. And working with colleagues across the city region, it's quite interesting to see. Actually, we've been managing large sums of money for quite a period of time, and I suggest that plays well to government in terms of our ability to continue to manage those resources in the future. What's been extremely helpful is the fact that on the 30th of June we launched our single growth strategy. And for us, the local growth fund 3 submission runs very much in parallel with our strong strategic context. And I'll explain in a little bit more detail in a second or two the arrangement that we have between the programme that we're developing through LGF3 and some of those pillars that are identified in the single growth strategy, which is basically giving us a real strength in the bid that we're submitting. I like to put this slide up members, because the programme that we're developing for Local Growth Fund 3 is a programme. It's not about individual projects being identified as part of our submission. What we're intending to do is identify a programme of areas of activity, and within that there will be indicative allocations of resources being made. But really what this slide's about is the sum of the hearts, and that's really about saying to government that we have some significant strengths across the Liverpool City region as a whole that we want to play into. And of course, as I said earlier, there's the whole agenda in terms of rebalancing the economy. And if I'm truthful, that's replaying those key messages back to government and saying that the Northern Powerhouse, as articulated in our local Growth Fund 3 submission, isn't merely about transport, although transport is a significant enabler. It's how that interrelationship with those other themes. And as Catherine alluded to earlier, in terms of the single investment fund, really it's the strength around how we complement local Growth Fund 3 monies with other monies that are available to us. And as I said, that programme approach to delivery, which is important. So what I wanted to do here is just spend a couple of minutes really summarising what I think our local Growth Fund 3 submission is about. And in essence, we've talked about the productivity, people and place elements of the submission and how that links to the themes around business and innovation, skills, housing and transport. And what I've done is just taken a paragraph from the bid submission that we're collectively working on at the moment, just to give you a flavour of, I think, where we're going with this submission. So our LGF3 submission is really around adopting a programme-led approach to driving the economic transformation of the Liverpool City region. What we're saying is, if we focus on our many strengths, which have the greatest potential for growth, i.e. productivity, we need to ensure that our residents and our employees, the people, are equipped with the right skills and qualifications needed to drive that growth. And economic growth must be enabled and supported by high quality and efficient transport infrastructure of the place. But we also need to make the most of the physical and cultural assets that we have available to us and what the city has to offer, and that's your place element. So in essence, if we achieve this, then in the future it's easier for us to attract and retain the people we have with the right skills and experience needed to transform our economy. And within those themes and that submission around productivity, we've got business and innovation. So that's making the Liverpool City region one of the best places in Europe to start to grow and invest in companies through the development of dynamic innovation and enterprise ecosystems. Strategic sector investment is recognising that there are still challenges that remain in bringing forward large economic strategic sites and sector investment areas, and they will require additional funding in the future. We've got some fantastic assets. Marine energy is another example of where, for example, that can be used to develop the next generation of energy generation. On open innovation, infrastructure and commercialisation, which features prominently in the bid. We can give examples across the city region of where open innovation has unlocked collaboration between industry, higher education institutes and research councils. In a nutshell, that's working with academia and the research councils to translate the theory into what does that mean in practical terms for businesses. Skills. We know that we've got a productivity challenge, but really if we're improving training facilities that meet employer demand and enhance learning provision in those growth sectors, that's really going to be key in the future. On transport, we see transport as an enabler of economic growth, and that's within the 3 pillars identified in our transport strategies around growth, low carbon and access to opportunity. And so what we're looking at there is a package around enhancing the defined route networks and how they contribute to productivity. A package of transport and accessibility enhancements to support our priority housing and employment growth sites. And then a package around improving and enhancing our local rail network. And finally, and last but not least, housing. And that's really about increasing the supply of home ownership at all levels across the market. And it's really about making our Liverpool City region an attractive place for people to live and therefore attractive for businesses to invest. And really there's a lot of work that we can do to facilitate that through enabling remediation specific to housing sites, for example, or indeed supporting on-site infrastructure. I appreciate that's a very quick whistle-stop tour through what is a really strong and emerging document. And in terms of the recommendations, if you're minded to approve, you can see there in front of you. We've still got a good couple of weeks to submit our bid. A lot of fine-tuning that will need to take place. What I would conclude by saying is that the support from all sectors across the city region and local authorities has been fantastic. This is really an example of strong collaboration. That's it, thank you.
Okay, thanks, Fred. Okay, I would just echo that. I think it is a really strong indication of the collaboration between the city region and the private sector with a real testimony to that. I think we're all, I certainly am satisfied with the team in terms of what has been set out within that. I think the way that's been undertaken by people engaged in the process has been exemplary. I think it's been really good. I think we can also make sure that we've got an opportunity to read into this before the final submission. So, any comments from anybody, everybody happy with that? I think, for me, looking at the, if you like, the sort of theme, it is on productivity, business and innovation, the skills of people, and probably generation of people as well, the transport connectivity issues in there, the housing issues are right up there as well. So I think that covers everything that I think that we should be bidding for and we should be looking at. So I'm happy with that. Any comments from members on it? No. Okay, so can we then thank Wes for the presentation, but equally agree those recommendations are set out within the report. Yeah. Okay, thank you. Thanks, Wes. Okay, so we move on then to item 6, which is a technical report. Well, basically, it sets out the novation of the Christmas fund to the combined authority. The report is clear about why we need to do it, and I don't think there's any risks or whatever. In fact, it could actually have real benefits for us in the long term, which I'm always glad to hear. I recommend that we accept that. So, any comments on this? I think the report is pretty straightforward and explains it in as much clarity as it possibly can do around the Christmas fund issue. So, any comments from anybody? Okay, so can we agree those recommendations as set out on page 62, please? Agree. Okay, smashing. And we move on then to item 7, which is the City Region Growth Deal Scheme. And it's basically to consider this is it's a first appraisal of the full business case for the Liverpool Studio project. We previously approved the outline business case early in the year. Captain, anything that needs to be highlighted on this? Any issues or whatever?
It's me actually, Jim. But no, the report should be self-explanatory. The key bits are that it's been through the second stage of the assurance framework. Now it's been independently, the business case has been independently appraised and shown to provide good value for money, and it verifies the outline business case which you previously considered in March. And the only significant bit is the first of the LGF schemes, the regen coming through the pipeline. Previous ones obviously are transport and environmental skills.
Okay, so can we, it's actually straightforward, it is good story. Can we get on with that please by accepting the recommendation please? Okay. And we then move on to item 8, which is again a growth deal scheme, the Ulster Transport Technology Centre, 600 jobs, investments, the outline business case, and conversations have been had with the company about our assurance that we
on quality jobs, and more importantly, a skills centre academy for our young people and not so young people to gather skills to help us plug the skills gap that we've been talking about before this. As you can see, this comes to the next September meeting where we'll have the proper business case for you then. But I'm hoping that colleagues can support this, as it's really good for our city and region.
Well, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, Rob, just because it's in Holland, it's not me. I'm absolutely delighted to see the 600 jobs. It's the 3 MG side. It's going to be great. As you said, it's going to be pulled off, so it's fantastic news. I've certainly got my support, and I think we should agree with the recommendation for the big thumbs up. Can we agree that, then, please? Then we go on to the local growth fund again. It's the approval of a major scheme business case for the 8570 Linkway improvements. And again, it's set out within the report. Frank, any comments on this?
No additional comments. Happy to take any questions. It's a scheme in St Helens. Following on from the comments Wes made about LGF 3, this is LGF 1, attendance and delivery. It's another scheme that we're ready to go with, and it demonstrates a positive business case of just under 3. Happy if there are any questions. The details of the scheme are attached to Appendix 1.
Okay, no, I think it's you know, we have discussed this before in terms of it's that investment that's taking place for approval. I think it's a good business case that outlines what success we can get from that investment. So I think it's good. Okay, so can we agree that recommendation, please? Item 9. Okay, thank you. And then if we move on to item 10, which is a Transport for the North update, and it's basically we've been playing an active role with Transport for the North since it was first routed. So we're being asked to consider the next steps to establish Transport for the North as a formal body. Frank, do you want to make any comments on that?
Thanks, Chair. Just the specific comment to make clear that, as detailed in 3.2 there, the current concurrent powers that are referenced in this book will not be able to be exercised by TFN without the approval of the constituent authority that those powers will be exercised in. So there's a protection there. And also just to highlight, as detailed in the report, this is a stage in the process. Agreement at this stage of this movement to the next step does not constrain the views of the combined authority at a later date. This is moving on through the process. But again, happy to take any questions.
No, I was not a question and comment. I just think Transport for the North is really, as it's formalised in that sense, really needs to, I think, champion more connectivity here as well with HST. I mean, all I'd say is Transport for London seems to have a better, let's just say, a better listening ear from government, and we've got to make that case. I met with Dave Higgins this morning about HS2, HS3, and we've got to just keep using Transport for the North to argue the case for west to east connectivity. I think that's crucial.
I completely agree with that, Chair. I think key in that TfL is currently a statutory body. This is about getting TfN as a statutory body, and that will give it that position as well.
Well, I think it's a mixture of not only getting the statutory requirements but it's making sure that the people on it speak up loud and clear about the North not being left behind when it comes to transport spending. It's a massive discrepancy between what's spent down south and what's spent up the North in terms of transport. So let's hope that that's the case. So given, I mean, there are some recommendations on that report, but basically it's pretty clear. So can we agree those recommendations are set out in that report, please? Okay. Item 11, then we move on, is the skills capital investment. And we're Sue, I don't know, you're going to do a short presentation for us, yeah?
Thanks, Chair. Just the report sets out that so far we've allocated £15 million of funding from LGF1 to the skills capital programme. I'm pleased to say we've got a number of our projects we've reached completion. I've just got a few photos to show members where we are. So the first one is a specialist course academy at Hugh College, and this was officially opened shortly. So good news that 2 of our bigger projects are now completed. The remainder of the report sets out the full business case for 3 more projects. One of them is called Rural Waters University Health Campus. And we've got a sketch here of what it will look like. It's actually located next door to the STEM Centre of the college as well, so you can see the whole suite of activity that's being developed on one site there. That project is looking for 2.2 million skills capital, and there'll be investment from the university sector as well. And then the other project is 1.9 million towards an equine and animal studies centre in Croxton. And the third business case was the City of Liverpool Digital Academy. That one requires more work, so the recommendation is that one comes back again at a later date, but the other 2 will be proposed to be approved, subject to members' approval.
Okay, any questions for Sue on that? I don't think so. I think it's good. It's all good stuff. All what I think the only disappointing thing is some of those things in terms of what we've been delivering on. And I was at the Port Academy, and you know, we've seen that investment over in Will, and we've seen the developments, and we've seen the proposal. You know, none of this is picked up by our local press about the things that the combined authority will be doing and doing. Not just the members of the combined authority, but also about the staff and the people working with partners to actually deliver this stuff. It's actually ongoing. It's frustrating that it's not getting picked up at all, but it's good news, and it's good news for the whole city beat. Okay, sorry for having a bit of a different argument moment there, but let's move on then. Can we agree that please? Okay, and then we move on to item 12. It's a skills report and how we can support business to develop the skill needs. Ian or Sue, anything to say on that? You've got anything to say to, again, great report, good positive. Okay with that? Okay. So that in itself, as I said, it's a 2.25 billion to support business with training grants. So it's a big news for the local business as well. So can we agree that recommendation is set out in the report, please?
Very good.
I've got item 13 is the Health and Work Innovation Fund submission. And again, this is to help people get into work. It's to help, it looks at a submission for funding to help people into work. Again, it's a pretty straightforward report, but if anyone wants to make any comments, Sue's able to answer any questions. Okay, no, it's a city region expression of interest for £16 million. So again, if we pull it off and we get that, it would be fantastic news. So can we agree that recommendation that's set out in the report? Thank you. Okay, 14 is the next item. It's the Housing and Spatial Planning Statement of Cooperation. And again, it's just what it says on the tin really. It's the Statement of Cooperation on Housing and Spatial Planning. And it allows each council to fulfil its duty to cooperate on planning matters. It also protects local councils in the region in terms of their spatial plans, their own local plans and that sort of thing. But it's about an intent to cooperate across the city region when we're looking at spatial plans. So can we agree that it's a pretty straightforward document? Yes? Okay, 15 is the local growth fund performance, and we've talked about the local growth fund on the agenda at this meeting. This report highlights the expenditure really for 2015-2016, and again it's pretty self-explanatory, the report. John, do you want to bring it up to anything you want to add to that?
No, I can just say the report is self-explanatory. It's for monetary purposes, but there is a recommendation relating to project management support for employment and skills. It's basically the equity college capacity to deliver that large programme that we previously just talked about.
Okay.
I'm happy to answer any questions on the report.
No, I think requirements, I think we all agree with that, and it's important that we have that post filled. So can we agree that recommendation, please? Okay, and the combined authority nominations to the audit committee. I'm delighted to say that Councillor Andy Moorhead is delighted in his absence to accept our nomination for that position. In fact, I can see him smiling here in my mind. And also, Rob is going to continue his role as the audit committee, Rob. You're our second nominee on that. So Rob Morwill and Andy Moorhead. Okay, so we can agree that recommendation goes to nominees. Smile, Rob, please. It's a good job, you know. Okay, 17 is the devolution of powers and resources to the city council. It's progress on the executive capacity. It's pretty clear that it's talking about progress. Anybody want to make any comments on that? I've got something to make. Does anybody want to make any comments on that at all?
Chair, only to say that what we're recommending is to continue the process for recruitment and the employment of staff, and to develop the proposals and the documentation that are set out there in paragraph 2.1b, A to E. And we also need to amend the constitution, which we will report back to the next meeting, setting all that out for you so that we can ensure that the combined authority has a staffing structure that's fit for purpose.
Okay. Well, I just like to make a comment. I mean, obviously, people are aware that there's an election taking place within the Labour Party for the position of elected mayor of the city region. I think it's important that we send copies of the report, the capacity report, to the two candidates. In particular, a candidate is suggesting that we are creating a bloated bureaucratic form of governance. The reality is we've just been talking about these ungrown fund bids, we've just been talking about bids that we're submitting. And basically, the capacity that we are using and we need is desperate, and we need to actually make sure that we get on with it. What frustrates me is the misinformation that people are putting out there, saying that we are spending £7 million on a new structure, a bloated structure. And the words that are being used on local radio is that people are getting a decent wedge of money. That's absolutely outrageous, because we know that a huge chunk of that money, probably 2/3 of that money or thereabouts, is used to pay for emergency travel, which we assimilated when we took in terms of the responsibility of the combined authority. So it is not £7 million. It is absolutely misleading to actually claim. And what I would suggest is that the two candidates receive copies of the report and little asterisks or highlighted marks and a note to explain exactly what is going on. I think it's important that the public and people get to know exactly what we are saying, not is somebody smearing and giving the wrong impression to actually try and win votes. So it's important that we get the record set straight, and I would suggest that we actually make sure that they're given copies of that report. Can we agree that that is sent out to the candidates, please? Okay, and we can do that. Okay, so I will leave the rest of it on that and just ask you to agree the recommendations as set out in the report, please. Okay, the next item on the agenda is item 18, which is the minutes of the City Region Basic Travel Committee. That was held on the 7th of April. Can I ask you to confirm those minutes, please? Okay, there are no urgent items for discussion. The next meeting of the combined authority is on the 19th of August. So can I now declare